That's James's beautiful sandwich. It's a pizza sandwich.
Well,
and lentils and beets on the side, and a little.
And if that weren't treat
cupcake.
enough.
And this pizza sandwich came from this. It's pizza sticks, which, as you can see, they're not sticks. So that's what that turned out to be. So I'm going to talk about Jekyll and Hyde and the hormone shift. And I'm glad I managed to get quite a bit done today. I should show you one thing from this book, actually. There are some useful, I don't know if you can see this because of the sun, but useful diagrams and pictures in the book to help with a kind of self-diagnosis or whatever. And so I'm looking in the mirror at my tongue, and I'm like, I don't know what, and I was thinking maybe blood deficiency, but I don't know. But it's interesting to look at this sort of stuff. So I'm thinking like it didn't give very much information on that sort of thing, but it gave enough that it got me thinking, well, maybe I want to look into that more. So that's useful. Jekyll and Hyde. This is a modern telling of this. Well, it's not really of the story because it's like supposed to be Jekyll Hyde, like the descendants of kind of, right? So it's a different story based on the original, I guess. But this one's 7.5 hours on 3 discs from 2015, and it's really well done. It has Richard E. Grant in it, which I love Richard E. Grant. It started out at the beginning, the first episode, I don't know how you pronounce that, so I don't really want to say it, but
What is it?
well, it's, never mind. It doesn't matter. So
What language do you think it's in?
It doesn't matter. But anyway, there's this sort of, Harbinger?
Harbinger.
Is that how you pronounce it? Okay. So anyway, there's one of those. And he has a human head and a dog body. I'm really quite ill. So we'll see how this goes today. But anyhow. And honestly, the dog, that's like, it's not really scary. It's kind of grotesque looking, right? But I mean, a human head is far less threatening than a dog's head, and a dog's body is far less threatening than a human's body. So I just found it kind of silly. And honestly, the dog didn't even have a bum hole. Like the computer animation or whatever, they decided to leave that out.
Maybe
why even show that view?
Well,
anyway, so the first episode, I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be just too silly to watch. But it actually worked out. So, worth watching. Okay, I'm going to try to read my notes from the Hormone Shift and just kind of lounge back here and see if I can sit out here for half an hour while James eats. Because it's good to get fresh air when you're feeling sick. So this is by Tasneem Bhatia, MD, and this was published this year, 2023. Gwyneth Paltrow provided foreword for the book, where she relays a conversation she had with Dr. Taz about turning 50. Dr. Taz described this chapter of our lives as a journey to becoming who you are, discovering your true soul, your essence, your purpose for being here. We're rising into our power and into our truth. The final third of a woman's life is a time when she gives birth to herself, when she finally mothers herself. And I thought, wow, that sounds so, it's something like, I feel that, right? And it's great forward. I haven't come across a forward as good, and I certainly wouldn't have expected it from Gwyneth Paltrow. I mean, she's an actress, and, well, whatever. I thought that was great.
hope it's not the final third. For someone who's healthy, it should be almost like
half, yeah. But I mean, I went into menopause early, and
How old were you?
I don't know, 40.
5?
I don't know. Do you remember?
No.
I mean, it would have been documented on our video things. I would have been making notes about it and poems about it and whatever. I'm not really worried about it right now, but it was early menopause, and they correlate that with heart disease and stuff like that, I guess. And I guess in this book she talks about that a little bit more. So, but honestly, how I feel about that is the body is saying, okay, we can't handle getting pregnant anymore for whatever reason is actually causing what doctors can call heart disease now, which is just a symptom for the problem that whatever the person has, that the body is saying, we can't risk her getting pregnant, she can't handle it anymore.
It's a correlation, not a causation.
Not a causation. So anyway, page 5, her hair was falling out, so this, I'm talking about Dr. Taz now. And doctors kept ignoring her even though she was a doctor. She took their medicine, which
Aren't
caused...
doctors awful?
Yeah, which caused a drop in blood pressure. She already had low blood pressure, which none of the doctors had asked her about. She passed out while driving her car. She's thankful for those 6 patronizing doctors because they made her realize she had to fix herself.
Isn't that awful? I mean, they're getting low blood pressure readings. Her hair is falling out.
You would think
and they're not taking it seriously.
So anyway, she hadn't thought she could do so since she was trained in pediatrics and emergency. She wasn't trained in this sort of thing. So she figured she had a hormonal imbalance caused by stress, trauma, poor nutrition, and lifestyle habits. She studied acupuncture and Ayurveda and became a certified nutrition specialist. She did an integrative medicine fellowship with Dr. Andrew Will. Chapter 1, the 5 key hormone shifts. That's what this chapter is called, I guess. PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, endometriosis and infertility, fibroids and fibrocystic breast cysts, and many autoimmune diseases are all triggered during a hormonal shift. Number 1, age 13 to 18, confusion. Tanner stages, nothing. Then 2 to 4, breast, bone, body, hair growth, skin changes, acne. Age 12 to 13, first period. Yeah, that's what that would be. By stage 5, fully developed reproductive organs. Girls stop growing about 2 years after they get their first period. If you have early puberty, you'll have more problems with weight gain, inflammation. Test teen girls' years to look for problems. Elevated androgens, high levels of DHT, dihydrotestosterone, testosterone, DHEA, and free testosterone. And she was talking about how, I think she was saying, you'll have to look this up. I'm trying to give you, chapters and some pages and stuff so you can try to figure out where this information is if you're interested in it. But I think she was commenting on, like if you go into puberty early, then some believe that that's linked to going into menopause early. And if you're going into menopause early, that's linked to going into possibly having heart disease and stuff. And she doesn't, I believe she said she didn't find information to prove that or whatever, but I believe that. But anyway, I've read a little bit about that, and from what I could see, I'm thinking, as much as it may not be conclusive, it's something to look into, right? And certainly think may be possible. Number 2, insulin sensitivity. Number 3, estrogen dominance. Storage of estradiol and estrone. There can be an estrogenization of boys' hormones, just as there can be an androgenization of girls' hormones. Hormones drive inflammation. A regular monthly period means the teen female's hormones are balanced and functioning properly. She says an IUD is a better option for birth control than the pill. Now, I wanted to comment on that. The regular monthly period means the teen's female's hormones are balanced and functioning properly. Okay, so what happens if you convince a teen girl to take the birth control pill or some other means of chemical birth control? We've already went over, I reviewed another book where the woman was talking about how the period that you get when you're on the birth control pill is not actually period at all. It's just, so if you're a teen and you're having that period, it's not a period, so you don't know if your hormones are functioning properly, do you? Can you? You can't possibly. Something to think about. Hormone drives inflammation. Hormones drive inflammation. A regular monthly period means females have blah, blah, blah. And she says that the IUD, they allow some hormones through or something like that. You can look it up to see why she thinks it's better. Some women get depressed or anxious on the pill, gaining weight, liver burden. The latter symptoms tend to be worse with BC shots and implants. So I'm going to talk about the liver burden for a minute here. If you have a problem running in your family with, say, familial hypercholesterolemia, you know you have liver problems, right? So would it be sensible for a doctor to put you on any kind of chemical birth control? Because, I mean, if you take the birth control, then you might end up with liver burden and stuff. Well, you already have liver burden, don't you? If this runs in your family. So when a doctor prescribes that to you, or when every doctor just, oh yeah, have it out, you know, you might be able to look at when a girl goes in, if they go into puberty early, you might be able to say, oh, okay, maybe this is linked with, or will be linked with heart disease later on. So whatever the underlying problem is, that later on they call that heart disease, when really it's a symptom of whatever is wrong, even when you're a young girl, when you're just having your first period early, right? Something to think about. I hope I'm getting this through, even though I'm pretty dizzy and I don't know if I'm communicating really well. The latter symptoms tend to be worse with birth control shots and implants. So if you already have talked to your doctor about having problems with the birth control pill, should they be suggesting that you take shots or implants?
Some of these guys are real scams.
You're not looking at hormone metabolites to see whether your body is processing them effectively or not. That's what she says. So if you might run into a lot of problems, like say having a period for like 5 months straight every day. Boy, that's going to be fun. Number 2, ages 20 to 28, invincible. Most common, PCOS, endometriosis, POTS, blood circulation disorder, anovulatory cycle, no ovulation. That's what that means. Dysmenorrhea, bad cramps and stuff. PMDD, long PMS. Hashimoto's thyroiditis, autoimmune disease of the thyroid. The hormone patterns related to these are low progesterone levels, high androgens, high insulin, high stress, thyroid issues, internal inflammation. 1. Have a full hormone panel and inflammation test done every 12 months, PAP. 2. Evaluate your stress. 3. If you ignore hormone problems now, they won't go away, she says. Number 3, ages 29 to 38, frazzled. When your progesterone levels drop even a little, you might get anxious. You can lose sleep. Progesterone checks, balances, cortisol. Practice saying no until it's as easy as saying hello. Get hormone levels checked annually. Add stress-busting techniques to your routine. Number 4, ages 39 to 55, authenticity, anxiety. Chinese medicine, fear and anxiety are stored in the liver. There's much sadness and grief at this time. Low estrogen, low collagen, and elastin. Your skin cell replacement slows and you look tired. Healthy inside leads to a healthier looking outside. Get hormone levels checked. Step into your purpose, journal. Number 5, ages 56 plus, depression. Some of or all of your perimenopause symptoms might continue. Boy, that would be terrible. The average age in the U.S. for menopause is now 52. Get full medical checkups 2 times a year. Check hormones, let go of your fears, and enjoy who and where you are. Resist sliding into depression. Chapter 2, The Signs of a Shift, page 62 to 63, Hormone Symptom Checklist. If you check more than 5, you likely have a hormone imbalance. And you can look that up. Condition, and then the hormone patterns check. I'll say the condition first and then the hormone patterns to check. Bone health, leaky gut, thyroid imbalance, low estradiol, progesterone, insulin. Cancer prevention. Liver sluggishness, mitochondrial dysfunction, inflammation. Cognitive decline, low progesterone, estradiol, vitamin D and B. Gut health, candida, fat metabolization, or malabsorption, pancreatic insufficiency. Heart health, low estradiol, high insulin, leaky gut. Inflammation, leaky gut, low omega-3, low vitamin D, hormone depletion, increased insulin. And then the last one is weight gain, insulin resistance, estrogen dominance, thyroid instability. There are 5 types of diabetes, she said. And honestly, I was looking at it and I couldn't even see that many on her list. So I'm like, okay, Alzheimer's is now referred to as type 3 diabetes. I found that interesting. It's an insulin-based disease, she says. Type 4, technically there isn't a type 4. But this might be an insulin resistance of the elderly. They're losing bone and muscle. Muscle is an important androgen organ. Muscle increase insulin sensitivity. For every 10% increase in skeletal muscle to body weight, there's a 11% decrease in the risk of insulin resistance and a 12% decrease in the risk of pre-diabetes. There's a gut-liver hormone condition when it comes to fibroids. Page 76. Thyroid-based hair loss falls out easily with one brushing, though. One brushing through, so that you might, if you have that problem, you might look into your thyroid. Androgen mediated, that's male pattern hair loss. Estrogen and progesterone based hair loss appears at temples, and nutritionally based hair loss, brittle, dry, easily breaks and doesn't grow. 79, page 79. Many autoimmune diseases flare up when there are downward shifts in progesterone. Thyroid, moving whatever, up and down. Increased insulin will also influence inflammation. Women who have severe hot flashes and night sweats during their transition to menopause have more bone loss and are at higher risk for hip fractures. Low testosterone, progesterone, estradiol put your sex life on hold. Page 87. 20 million Americans have thyroid disease, with up to 60% of those unaware of it. Women are 5 to 8 times more likely to get one because we're more susceptible to autoimmune diseases and inflammation. Chapter 8, maybe? No, it'd be 3. Hormone University. That's what this one's called. Hormone replacement therapy shouldn't be feared. That's what she says. She went on BHT, bioidentical progesterone, due to stress and poor diet 20 years ago. She went gluten-free, balanced her thyroid hormones, ate more protein, and took B vitamins and got more sleep. And HRT, what would that be? I put a lot of abbreviations.
Treatment.
That's what increases blood clots, breast cancer, gallbladder disease, heart attacks, and stroke. So, but she says it's nothing to fear, or you shouldn't fear it. Okay.
Fear it.
Genes like MTHFR, COMT, CYP1B1 can all cause difficulty with estrogen breakdown and metabolism. Chapter 4, The Science of Emotions. Our mitochondrial DNA stores our emotions. How we feel changes our chemistry, biology, and hormones. We are influenced by 7 preceding generations. Crown. Extreme abundance and highest chakra receives direction, guidance, love. Heart. Love. 4th chakra when blocked. Depression, overworking, and anxiety. Pericardium. Hope. Hope is 1 step down from love and 1 step up from peace. Circulation of blood is peace. It's the gateway to love and hope. Throat, acceptance. Acceptance leads to self-expression. Blockages influence thyroid. Spleen and small intestine, worry, gut issues, leaky gut, food allergies, intolerances. Kidneys and bladder. Fear impacts inflammation, thyroid, adrenal balance, and the fluid and electrolyte balance. Lungs, grief. Liver and gallbladder, anger. With cases of trauma and emotion preceding grief is often anger. Anger and stress are associated with the liver. When anger is not released, estrogen dominance, thyroid dysfunction, and elevated cortisol take over. Pelvis, hate. Hate leads to self-harm. It blocks joy and love. Many patients stuck here have a problem with sexual health. Chronic fear and worry trigger low progesterone. Estrogen dominance causes fibroids, etc. Chapter 5, Eastern and Western Healing Modalities. Rosemary affects the limbic system, invigorates, lavender calms. Bergamot lowers cortisol, cinnamon lowers cramps. Citrus supports testosterone, fennel supports estrogen, frankincense, thyroid support and cortisol balance. Geranium supports estrogen, lavender relieves estrogen dominance. Rose balances testosterone and androgens. Rosemary can relieve estrogen dominance. Thyme supports progesterone. Vitex supports estrogen and progesterone and lowers prolactin. Ylang ylang supports testosterone and libido. And I'll see how much time I have left because I'm chatting here a lot. I took a lot of notes. It's a book worth reading. So it looks like I still have time. I'm going to keep going and see how far I get because I'm feeling okay.
Enough.
The Hormone Shift continues here, page 177, chapter 6, the gut hormone connection. Spleen meridian issues result in too much dampness, which changes blood sugar level. Kidney meridian imbalances block hormone production. Thyroid disorders were linked to the liver and kidney, while estrogen dominance was a pattern common to those with liver stagnation. 182. Leaky gut leads to inflammation, which leads to decreased hormone production and disease. Inflammation stresses the body, which can increase anxiety and cortisol and lower immune system. Approximately equal to 95% of the neurotransmitters, including serotonin, dopamine, and GABA, are made in the gut. Leaky gut is often the root of anxiety and depression, OCD, etc. Causes processed food and stress and poor sleep. That's one combination. And second combination cause, medications, high toxic load, genetics. Third, genetics and inflammation and stress. 4, virus and processed food and stress. 5, insect bite and medication and genetics. 6, food tolerances and stress and poor sleep. 7, sugar and stress and genetics. Page 186, she's finding fat in stools of patients, babies to adults. Fat is needed to make cholesterol, the building blocks of hormones. There's increased histamine response in response to fat loss. This can lead to chronic food intolerances, food allergies, and immune responses. Her daughter had a reaction to a bee sting. 6 months later, can no longer tolerate shrimp. Too much LDL leads to heart disease. Low cholesterol below 130 milligrams per deciliter leads to hormone depletion. Her favorite probiotic foods are chicory root, artichoke leaves, dandelion. When people have bacterial overgrowth, they do better taking probiotics to balance their microbiome than taking probiotics. Glutamine heals and seals a leaky gut. Aloe vera juice balances gut bacteria and improves the gut lining. She says you don't need much, 2 to 4 tablespoons a day. But you drink pure juice, not the sugary aloe drinks. Chapter 7, Hormones and Nutrition. Top 10 nutrients. 1, B vitamins. They metabolize estrogen, balance thyroid function, support cortisol and progesterone production. B1 activates detox in the liver, breaks down hormone metabolites. B2 supports detox energy production. B3 regulates cholesterol and estrogen metabolism. B5 relieves headaches, supports estrogen, progesterone production. B6 supports liver function, binds to estrogen, progesterone, testosterone to break down excess levels. B6 lowers the risk for hormone-related cancers, biotin. B7 improves ovulation, strengthens hair and nails. B9, folate, breaks down homocysteine levels. Inflammation. Lowers ACTH, the hormone that leads to high blood pressure. B12 improves energy, detox melatonin production and memory. If you have the MTHFR genetic mutation, it's tough to absorb and use nutrients, hormones, etc. This can lead to B deficiency. This can cause an increased toxic load, hormone disruption, etc. by supplements that are methylated. 30 to 40% of the population have this genetic mutation now. This mutation is becoming more prevalent. She doesn't know why.
Yeah.
Low iron levels can trigger low progesterone levels and lower blood pressure, etc. Page 203, vitamin E improves cholesterol profiles and increases HDL, improves insulin resistance, increases progesterone levels, lowers LDL cholesterol, lowers testosterone. Low zinc can cause high cortisol, high estrogen infertility, and low libido. Low progesterone, low and PMS. Omega-3 reduces inflammation. Low omega-3 is linked to high androgens, infertility, inflammation, insulin resistance, low estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone levels. Omega-9 are found in avocados, olive oil, almonds. They lower inflammation. They aid in estrogen metabolism. Probiotics balance cortisol, improve estrogen metabolism, improve insulin resistance, improve progesterone balance, lower candida, lower androgens, lower LDL cholesterol. An overgrowth of Clostridia bacteria is linked to PCOS. 5 hormone traps. 1. Inflammatory foods, alcohol, artificial sweetener, chemical food additives, dairy, gluten, meats, saturated and trans fat, soy and sugar snacks. 2. Caffeine. 3. Gluten-free and dairy-free. These can be high in simple carbs and sugar. 4. Fasting. 5. Keto can raise cholesterol. Superfoods. Fiber, healthy fats, clean protein, gut support, liver cleansers. There's beet greens, broccoli sprouts, cilantro, cukes, dandelion greens, ginger, garlic, green tea, lemons, parsley, and water. Number 6. Thyroid support. Almonds, Brazil nuts, seaweed. Foods to beat estrogen dominance. Broccoli, broccoli sprouts, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, flax seeds, fenugreek, kale, mushrooms, EBO, salmon, turmeric. Foods to boost progesterone. Avocado, beef, chicken, chocolate, nuts, pumpkin seed, shrimp, and turkey. Chapter 8, the hormonal laundromat. Hormone metabolites, aka dirty hormones. The liver is our largest internal organ. It is where your body removes toxins to be eliminated. Phases of liver detox. 1. Amino acids, B vitamins, vitamin A, C, zinc. 2. Amino glutathione, molybdenum. I don't know how you say that. Sulfur, vitamin B12. 3. Occurs in liver and kidneys. Dirty hormones are hormone metabolites and hormone byproducts that build up due to lifestyle and genetics, such as estrone, 7-hydroxyprogesterone, DHT, derivatives of insulin like fructosamine, and high C-peptide and androstenedione, whatever. If you're feeling off with symptoms like bloating, breast tenderness, weird rashes, hair loss, or acne, you likely have dirty hormones. When these accumulate, liver toxicity and weight gain result. An accumulation of estrogen metabolites can cause fibroids, breast cancer, endometrial cancer, etc. The metabolites of testosterone or progesterone can act as androgens, making hair loss and acne worse. Page 240.